The transfer window is shut. Let's talk about the biggest deadline day deals. And I'm not going to cover anyone that I've never heard of or haven't watched or don't know enough about to form an opinion on. First, I'm not a Sunderland fan, but they've done some incredible deadline day business. They brought in Gertruda, who was a bit of a stalwart under slot, super versatile, can play fullback, can step into midfield, playing Champions League football last season, so for Sunderland to get him again, it's just great quality. And it's the same thing with Brian Brobby. 25 million it could rise to for a striker who's probably better than Guiu, probably has a higher ceiling than Guiu. Yes, he had a bad year last year, but every time I've watched him, he's looked really good, physical, made for the Premier League. With Guiu going back to Chelsea, this seems like a bit of an upgrade. United have signed Lamens, a young Belgian goalkeeper. Now, I've never seen him play, but I really rated Onana before I went to United, and it seemed like the pressure got to him a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how Lamens gets on. But however good he is, he's got to be better than Bayandир, hasn't he? And on goalkeepers, City have signed Donnarumma. To be honest, I think it's about 35 million feet, so it's a great market opportunity for City. And yeah, he could turn out to be the keeper for the next 5, 10 years. I think he'll be good in those one-off Champions League nights where he just keeps them in games. You could argue he kept PSG in the tie against Arsenal. He was really good. Tactically, I think this causes problems. Signed two keepers to replace Ederson. Donnarumma doesn't seem very confident with his feet. His long-range passing is not very good. It's cost him in big games before. And James Trafford seems young and experienced, his decision making is poor, and he's not the best shot stopper. It seems like they've traded Ederson, who, yes, he's getting on, but he's got the best of both worlds, for two keepers who have got the opposite issue. It'll be interesting to see how City manage the minutes. Next, Newcastle got Visser, so Voltemada and Visser replace Isak. For me, that's about as good as Newcastle could have done in a situation where Isak's refusing to play for them. They don't seem to have made any money on Isak because Visser and Voltemada together cost 140. So they've actually lost Isak and 15 million in the overall dealings. But considering Isak was never going to play for them again by all accounts, they've done pretty well. Big Crouch and Defoe vibes going on here. Next, one that flew under the radar a bit. How have Burnley got Florentino Luis? Champions League quality player, eats up ground, massive tackles interception numbers. Not bad on the ball either, like he's probably a Champions League player. So for Burnley to get him, maybe this will give him a fighting chance. We all know about Isak, of course. I mean, what more is there to say? Colin Moani going to Spurs is pretty interesting. He's really quick, stretch the lines, he's good quality. I think he'll play as a backup considering he's only on loan, but yeah, you can't argue with that squad depth. And next, we'll cap it off with the biggest saga of the day. Palace essentially seemed happy to take 35 million for Guehi. He's in the last year of his contract, and it seemed like smart business. They just needed the replacement in, which they got. It was at the point where we got the here we go from Fabrizio. Guehi had passed his medical, he'd filmed all his goodbye videos, he was on his way to Liverpool, just for Igor Thiago to say, actually lads, I want to go and get into a relegation scrap with West Ham. Why he'd do this, no one knows. He would have easily started for Palace in that back three. So the bottom line is, Liverpool didn't get Guehi.